Hello, my name is James Collington. I am the Creative Arts Director here at Discovery Christian Church in Davis, California. You might be asking yourself, what is Creative Arts Director? And sometimes I ask myself the same question. Basically, number of hats that I wear. Sometimes I'm putting out fires, sometimes I'm making fires, metaphorically speaking, of course. And primarily my job is to do the music here and manage the team on Sundays, which is such a blessing. Also do a lot of the social media stuff, a lot of the visual stuff. So if you see it and you like it, that's awesome. If you see it and you don't like it, just watch the next video, and whoever is answering the questions, they probably did it. We'll blame it on them. We'll put it on them. All right, first question. What does worship mean to me? Great question. I grew up in a church, a small church plant. After I got saved, or during the process when I got saved, that's a whole other question story in itself. But basically, that church's values and mission statement were to host the presence of God, build relationships, and raise up a generation. That's in my DNA, and that naturally comes out when I'm leading worship. So first and foremost, always hosting the presence of God. Building relationships is also always good whenever you can do that, doing worship. And for the last point, raising up a generation. My whole philosophy also comes from mentors who invested in me. And I remember one Sunday, this guy, his name was Lee. He used to drive really far to just come teach us how to do worship at our church. And he said, if I'm doing my job right, I won't have a job soon. And kind of this idea of making your ceiling someone else's floor. So as far as I've gone, that's where I want to push you to take you to where, as far as I can go, so you can take it further. Please explain Dunkin' Donuts to a West Coaster. What's the big deal? This isn't a simple question for a number of reasons. So I'm from Rhode Island, it's a state. People in California are pretty cool because they're pretty good on their geography, but there are parts of this country where people think Rhode Island is not a state. But anyway, Dunkin' Donuts, back home in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, New England as a whole, we'll speak in terms of a region, it's just a thing. It's everywhere. Like, it's not uncommon to see multiple Dunkin' Donuts on a intersection. No matter what time of the year, freezing, rain, snow, hail, sun, whatever it is, you just show up and you get a huge iced drink, whether it's an iced tea or an iced coffee. So iced coffee, we have to talk about iced coffee because all my friends here think I'm crazy for this. A lot of people, in my experience out here in California, when you bring up iced coffee, they think you're talking about cold brew. No, it's different. And so it's just literally coffee that's brewed, and then it gets cooled down, and then you put it over ice, and it's awesome. But the thing that weirds my friends out the most, especially when I'm traveling or living in California, is that there's granulated sugar in it. And for me, I just thought that was normal my whole life, and I thought it was awesome. So I still do that when I have iced coffee out here. And even when I'm traveling, some places just think you're the weirdest thing ever. And so you can take the boy out of New England, but you can't take the New England out of the boy. And that's kind of Dunkin' Donuts, I guess. How did you meet Pastor Steve? So Pastor Steve and I met at a collegiate ministry group called Sojourn. We actually weren't a part of the same Sojourn. So I went to Rhode Island College. I got my bachelor's degree in business management. And Steve, he was at the Sojourn at Boston University, Boston College, one of those, both of them, we'll just say City of Boston. He was doing their Sojourn stuff. So whenever there was a missions trip or something like that, we would always kind of Venn diagram and kind of cross paths away. Long story short, that is how I met Steve. And years later, he needed his favorite worship leader. And he said, James, we need you. The bat signal went in the sky, and I said, Steve, I am on my way. Why is Panda Express chow mein so gross? Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and defend Panda Express's chow mein. It's like if seltzer was a food, in the sense where it tastes like something, but it doesn't at the same time, but it's still really good. And it's delicious. I just like it. I'm not gonna sit here and defend it though. Why is Rhode Island small? Because it is. I have no idea. All right, bonus question, because if you're still watching, I'm gonna treat you. What is the weirdest part of living in California? I don't know if I'd call it weird, but some of the things that stand out to me the most that I've loved, first of all, In-N-Out. You gotta love In-N-Out. I know they're in other states, but You know, this is like In-N-Out headquarters. This is the stomping ground. This is the flagship land. This is where it all happened. My second favorite thing about living in this area, specifically of Davis here in the Central Valley, is the Delta breeze. At night, like, it just cools down drastically here. And I just always figured we're just a desert kind of place close to the Pacific Ocean, so naturally when the sun goes away. But actually there's this huge breeze that blows in from San Francisco Bay into the valley, and it just floods it with cool air. I think it's just cool. It's really pleasant. It's lovely. I grew up in a place where if it's humid all day, it'll be humid all night. And to be somewhere where there is, like, ideally no humidity, you just know it's always gonna be a good morning or a good night. I mean, I can deal with the heat for a few hours during the day. I love it here. I'm not moving, so I hope you like me. All right, guys, take care.